Yep. I'm gonna react to some FNAF theories. 3 theories. 3 different people. And, just to see what they have to say. Oh, God. Can you guys hear me? I hope you guys can hear me. Let me just double check. And I see there is a Josh in the chat. Hello, Josh. And Emily Nightwolf. Welcome. Bonjour. Yes. Oui, oui. You speak French? Well, I speak Japanese. Konnichiwa. Sort of. I'm still learning. And also, I was a little bit hungry, so I went to grab some bag of chips. They're baked Lay's chips, barbecue sauce, so just in case I get hungry. I mean, I am kind of hungry, so I probably should open this now. So I can snack while theorizing. Great French, can you? Yeah. Yes. So yes, we are gonna react to, you know, Funniest of Freddy's theories. The first one I am probably gonna go for is the longest one, which is of course the game theorist Matt Pat. His theory is called FNAF, Buried and Forgotten. So yeah, we're gonna look into Ruin FNAF theory. So I do recommend checking out Ruin, and so. I had to run sense. What Emily's for? Oh no, poor Emily. Yeah, they're chips. Anyway, so yeah. My pet! Here we go. Oh, I'm so scared of my pet. What like okay, here's the thing. I am actually gonna debunk him actually for his Gregory is a kid. Gregory is a robot theory. I've been working on that. I have a skit already done and everything. I just need to write the last few things of the script, like looking into it more. But yes. But also, guys, if you're FNAF fans and FNAF theorists, and if you want to like, you know, react to this with me and share your thoughts on these theories and everything, just DM me and we can do a voice call. So why not? Just like to put that out there if you have a Discord, you know, account and everything. So anyway, let's just get into it. Oh yeah, chips are different for you in the UK, yeah. Yeah, no, chips are I don't know how to describe to them in America. But I guess they're called crisps in the UK, right? Crisps? If I remember right, I don't know. I'm trying to remember all the, you know. Ah! Great intro. I'm glad it is the default anymore.
Welcome to Game Theory, the show that is definitely the real deal and not a sentient robot designed to copy my voice. Today we begin our journey to solve the most anticipated DLC of the year, Security Breach Ruin. Gotta admit, this DLC has been fantastic. Playing it, it really felt like Steel Wool learned from their mistakes. Gone is the open world that was big but empty. Gone is the brightly lit neon environments that stopped being scary. And gone are the insane glitches that made the game impossible to fully complete.
Ooh, hey. Whoa!
We are not where we were.
This definitely feels like we've skipped something.
I think we broke the
I
game.
think I broke the game for like the
Third time.
Okay, maybe not all the glitches are gone, and just so happened to be on my first playthrough, I managed to skip an entire chapter that was filled with the most lore, but hey, consider that my contribution to the speedrunning community. You can call that one the failed lore hunter skip in my honor. It'll be my crowning achievement in the world of gaming. Just to make sure that we're all starting on the same page.
You know, to be honest, I didn't really get much of like any glitches or anything in the game. The only thing I got in was the soft lock one, where the Mexus or whatever like jump scared me, and because of that, it made me go out of the camera, and so I couldn't go into the camera anymore. So when Map was like, oh yeah, I broke the game. To me, I just don't think he actually did break the game. I don't know. Because when I was watching his playthroughs, it didn't seem like he skipped anything unless I missed something. But like, I don't know.
In the game, we play as a new character named Cassie.
Woo!
A young girl that's been called to the Pizzaplex by her friend and my personal favorite, maybe definitely robot kid, Gregory. Gregory tells
No, okay, out of the bat, no. He's not, no. Oh, God. No, he's not a robot, Mad Pat. Oh my God. Like, I have written things down on hence why he is not a robot, including GGY. He skipped Roxy. I'm pretty sure her deactive. Oh, did he? Dang.
tells us through a Roxy talkie that he's
Dang.
trapped under the sinkhole in Roxy Raceway. One staff bot jump scare later and we're handed a quote-unquote security mask, one that's meant to help us bypass certain puzzles while shutting down all the security nodes that are keeping Gregory locked down in the basement.
Yep.
But this, my friends, is not just any mask. This is Vanny's mask, the one that Vanessa wore throughout the entirety of Security Breach, making it pretty darn suspicious. Using this mask allows us to look into an augmented reality system, seeing things that we couldn't see before, making us invisible to certain enemies. We can suddenly walk through walls, deactivate security nodes, intentionally teleport, and as I demonstrated earlier, also accidentally teleport sometimes. Mask in hand, we make our way through the pizza
Okay,
place,
that part,
shutting down the
okay.
security and encountering the various Glamrock animatronics from the original game, including the bestest boy Glamrock Freddy, though something's a little different about him this time. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's probably the fact that he's missing his head. All of this while running from
Haha,
a
very funny.
Summon animatronics to our location if we wear the Vanny mask for too long. Eventually, we deactivate all the security nodes, including Cassie's favorite Glamrock, Roxy.
Cassie, what are you doing?
Sorry.
This allows us to head on down to the basement where, surprise, surprise, it wasn't Gregory at all. Instead, it was an animatronic. See, told you guys Gregory was a robot this entire time. This thing right
Haha, very funny, Mappa, but no, you're so wrong, because guess what? That's the Mimic. Anyway, I kind of sort of... Here's the thing. When I watched the trailer for The Ruin, I did kind of hope that it wasn't, I thought it was actually different than Gregory or something like that, but, yeah, a shame, the Mimic. But, I mean, it's so cool to see the Mimic. I mean, come on, the Mimic, I mean, have you not read the books? Okay, I haven't read the books, but, like, I have heard the Mimic stories, and dang, he is a violent robot. For sure. Rusty is the best, definitely. For sure. I don't know. I kind of hope that, if they do any more DLCs, like the prequels or something like that, we could, like, have each different character, connected to the animatronics or something. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, hanging out with Monty, hanging out with, who else? Chica. Ooh, Mimi, Glamour, Bonnie, and figure out some lore about him. Like, I mean, wouldn't that be cool? But, I also was gonna say, Gregory sounded way younger when we first meet him, and then towards the end, when they make him change his voice or whatever.
This thing right here is the Mimic, a bot designed to learn from and copy other people and robots. And whoopsie poopsie, we've just released it from its concrete prison. We run to the elevator to try to escape, only for the real Gregory to finally contact us and lead us to safety. The elevator is ultimately sabotaged by either Gregory or the Mimic, unclear who exactly, that's a theory that we're going to talk about later, and we fall into the game's ending with Cassie's fate being questionable at best. Honestly, there is so much happening in this game. True to form, the fanbase is just tying itself into knots arguing over all the little details. Did Gregory actually betray us in the end? What does the word prototype mean on Freddy's foot exactly? And what ending of Security Breach actually led us to this point in the timeline? Well, good news there, loyal theorists. I believe I have at least the first batch of questions answered. And oh boy, if I'm right, this game is drawn from one of the most controversial parts of the lore, while simultaneously setting us up for some massive reveals later this year. So
for me, some of the things I said, like, the canon theory might be the, all of the that endings like merge into one, but also I think a lot of people are saying it's the Princess Quest ending because we see a lot of like the Princess Quest reference, and I think people have collected all like the comic book collectibles, and there's not a single comic book strip collectible where it has the Princess Quest ending. So, but and again, there's of course Burn Trap's ending is in the files is called the true ending. So we don't know. I really hope Cassie didn't die, but like, I don't know either. It just depends how far she went up. But then again, I don't know. I hope no, she's not dead, but I can see why she has to be dead, like realistically.
Grab your AR bunny masks, friends. We're about to see the hidden truth buried within the ruin. But before I do that, you know what complements a high-tech bunny mask? Our latest batch of theory wear.
Oh,
That's
nope,
right,
nope,
that is
nope,
per-
nope,
you guys,
nope.
Then it is this black outer black. We wanted to do this with the trail by our port here work into some radioactive. Turns even gives you a project.
My pet, that's cool, yeah. Alright.
Something that really sets the foundation for the rest of Ruin. Which of the Security Breach endings is canon? Security Breach has had a weird relationship with its endings. Sure, some previous FNAF games have had multiple endings, some have even had upwards of 7, but none has ever been so vague about what the intended ending was. Of Security Breach's 6 potential endings, there were 2 that felt like real contenders for being the canon
Yep.
choice. The so-called true ending, 2-star ending where Gregory goes into the Pizzaplex's basement to fight Burn Trap, ending in a collapse of the entire building, and the Princess Quest ending, the only 3-star ending of the game where Freddy's dismantled by staff bots and Gregory defeats the glitch trap virus controlling.
Wait, which ending is the one where it doesn't have any stars? Wait.
Potential endings.
Wait. There's an ending missing here. Oh, hold on. Okay, it's some sort of okay, never mind. Anyway. Is there an ending? Wait. The one where Fanny gets pushed off the roof, one where he drives off, the Princess Quest ending, Freddy dying, the bird trap. There is one ending that is missing where you just escape. There's like, isn't it escape? Yeah, it's the one where Vanny comes out of the shadows, where he's like homeless and everything. Yeah, that one. Where is he? There's actually a total of 7 endings, Map Hat. There's a total of 7 different endings. Huh? Yeah, there's a total of 7. I'm kind of looking it up right now. Security breach all endings. There's a total of 6 endings. And then it really has 3 endings. No, there's 7! The orphan. What? Okay, whatever. Alright, let's just get back into it. But anyway, he said, there's like top.
2-star ending where Gregory goes into the Pizzaplex's basement to fight Burn Trap, ending in a collapse of the entire building, and the Princess Quest ending, the only 3-star ending of the game where Freddy's dismantled by staff bots and Gregory defeats the glitch trap virus controlling Vanessa. So now that Ruin's out, which actually happened? Well, we could say with near 100% certainty that it was Princess Quest. You see,
Yeah.
did something that I would have never expected. They made the comic book style drawings of all the Security Breach endings into the linchpin of the whole.
Damn. Grenade! Okay, so my part believes it's the Princess Quest ending. How is he going to get there? That's my question. I'm worried about like the evidence he's going to put out. I mean, I know he's probably gonna say, "Oh, it's actually, well, really, it's actually gonna be the Afton ending."
Are we collecting the endings from Security Breach as comics?
Yep, throughout Ruin, one of our main collectibles are comic strips. Comic strips depicting
Yeah.
images from the base game's various endings. Comics that were created by none other than...
It's one of Gregorys Comics.
Each comic comes with a little descriptor like that. These look like Gregory drew them. Gregory should be an artist when he grows up. Gregory was always so creative. That last line about Gregory being creative, that tells me that these endings are all made up. They're just stories that Gregory imagined for his own little comic series, inspired by the scary, true-to-life events of the franchise. But if they're made up, then how do we know that the Princess Quest ending is real? Well, once you collect all of Gregory's comics, the answer is pretty obvious. Take a look at this. These two are from the Gregory Escapes ending. These two are from the VIP ending. These are from the Loading Dock ending. This one is from the Disassemble Vanny ending. And then, last but not least, is the Burn Trap ending panel. Seems like a pretty extensive list, right? Except there's one ending that's noticeably absent here. Princess Quest. There isn't a single comic strip in all of Ruin depicting that ending, implying that that one, unlike all the others, was real. And if you look around at the rest of Ruin with this in mind, you start to realize why. In the Princess Quest ending, you have to beat the Princess Quest 3 arcade machine that's in Vanny's hideout. But when you visit that same hideout in Ruin, you find the machine on its side, with the princess's lantern sitting on top of it. She has conquered the virus, lighting the way to freedom. And if the lantern wasn't obvious enough symbolism for you, when you put on the Vanny mask and enter the AR world...
Now, here's the thing. The only thing that... The reason why this is, like, hard... The thing is that, though, with this, whole story part is that, why is it one of the endings not a comic book? That's the only problem here. Now, like, there's so much debate about the ending or whatever. It's just like... But yeah, so there's that.
You'll see the sword from Princess Quest 2.
That's the confusing part for
plunged
me.
into the machine. The beast has been slain. Actually, the fact that Cassie's given the Vanny mask in the first place also lines up with this ending, because it's the only ending where we actively see the mask getting left behind. It's actually a big focus of this panel right here, showing us that the mask being left behind is significant. It's still waiting around for someone, in this case Cassie, to find it and become the new Vanny. And then, last but not least, there's the fact that in Ruin we come across Freddy, sitting in a pile of rubble, missing his head. Something that, again, only happens in the Princess Quest ending.
But that's the
With our
part...
canonical ending established, let's just stop right there to talk a little bit more about Freddy, shall we? In Ruin, we come across this headless Freddy, but it's unclear whether it's meant to be our Freddy from Security Breach or not. You see, this Freddy has the word prototype written across his foot, something that is definitely not present in the base game.
No, look, like, you see how dirty he is and everything? Just like in, like, what we saw in the prototype version? Like, we don't see the word prototype. Like, I don't think the word prototype was supposed to be covered up or anything like that, unless that is something that they forgot to do or anything like that. I just don't know.
Has a green present hiding in his stomach. Something that's awfully suspicious once you consider Security Breach started with Gregory taking an orange present out of Freddy's stomach. This can't possibly be the same robot then, right? This is one of the big debates that's captured the attention of the Faz base. If the Princess Quest ending is correct, then it kinda has to be the same Freddy. It would be very highly coincidental if not. So how then do you explain all these new features? Well, first, I think it's important to call out that design updates between games, it is nothing new for this franchise. Probably the best known example of this is the evolution of Springtrap in FNAF 3 to Scraptrap in FNAF 6. William Afton's basic anatomy, it is nothing alike, despite it being the same dead body in the same rotten suit. Even in this game, Candy Cadet, complete overhaul between his first appearance and now. Or just take a look at any of the other animatronics. Their endos are real different to the ones at the end of Security Breach, and yet each and every one of them has suffered the exact same damage that they did in the previous game. But one detail that can't be replicated is something that I think a lot of the community has started to overlook. Something that can't be denied. And it all relates back to the Vanny mask. We're told that this mask is known as the Virtual Augmented Neural Network Integration Unit, or VANI. As the name implies.
Okay, I do actually want to talk about this part right here. Is this just me, or this part right here is just dumb to me? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's something like they just made up for Ruin or something. Like, I don't think they planned to do this at all. Like, for me, this is just a tiny bit dumb. It's just a little bit. But, like, it's not bad or anything. It's just like, really?
As the name implies, it allows us to use augmented reality to physically see and access the neural network, that's just a fancy name for AI, controlling the Pizzaplex. Throughout the game, we use this ability to make fences disappear, access security nodes, and teleport from location to location. That much is obvious. What's less obvious, though, are how the various endoskeletons behave while we're wearing the mask. As we pass most normal endoskeletons in the game, we see them wrapped in swirling pink code. This shows that they're connected to the network. They're being powered by the AI system in charge of the Pizzaplex.
Yep.
Now, when Cassie has the Vanny mask off, they'll start chasing us. That's because we're suddenly visible to them. We're just a kid. We're a target. But notice what happens as soon as we put the mask on. They stop chasing us. Instead, they go back to what they were doing before. We've disappeared from them because we're integrated into the AI system. We're no longer a kid. We've become one with the code. It's actually pretty brilliant, subtle storytelling. But now let's get back to the topic at hand, our headless Freddy in Ruin. Unlike every other animatronic, when we put on the mask around Freddy, not only does he stop chasing us, he outright disappears. We can't see him anymore. And likewise, he can no longer see us. Why? What makes him so different? What is this trying to tell us? Well, if the Vanny mask jacks us into the Pizzaplex's AI system, his disappearance tells us that he's not a part of that system.
That, or it's because it's probably fake, because I think I wish Baby Buddy was here to like explain this part. Honestly, because she explained it better than most, because it's like in the book or something. Like, no, was it Map? I don't know. Someone I either watch or who talked to me talked about the fact that it could be a fake Freddy. You know, so I don't know.
He is not swirling in pink code because he's removed from the Pizzaplex's network. How'd that happen? Well, we saw it at the top of Security Breach. Freddy glitches out and has to be rebooted in safe mode. That's why he's friendly to Gregory in a way that none of the other animatronics are. He's no longer under the control of the AI network controlling the Pizzaplex. In a sense, you could say he's thinking for himself. And we see this continue throughout the entirety of Security Breach. Whenever Gregory sees Vanny running around, Freddy states that he didn't see anything.
You didn't see the dancing rabbit lady right in front of us?
No, I did not. There is no rabbit at the Mega Pizzaplex.
And this is why okay. This part for me, this is, okay, so the Vanny mask that we get in Ruin kind of explains why Freddy can't see Vanny at all during that scene. Or just generally at all until he gets, like, Foxy Eyes anymore. Like, yes, he's out the system. I think there's some points to that and everything. But also it's because, you know, illusion discs, and because the mask can make you invisible to certain animatronics and everything. So, if anything, maybe Vanny, the character Vanny, could have known that Freddy is not in the system anymore, and so she, like, I don't know. I think I know about the fake Freddy. Yeah, I'm just worried that my movie is going to lead into it, and this is why Gregory is a robot. When there's so much other evidence of him why he's human than a robot. Like, even GGY explains why he's human. I remember that he said, oh, he, like, cocked his head when he saw something odd and everything. That's a robot. And I'm like, no! People cock their heads without being a robot. It's a description of how a person moves their head. So if he's cock his head as something odd, it's not because he's a robot. That's like my biggest problem with Sarah is that, oh, because a character cocked his head and is acting strange and everything, that means he's a robot. I'm like, no! There are character personalities. He's like, I don't know what book I read or something like that, where a character did, you know, there is a description where they cock their head. And guess what? They're not even a robot. So I don't know. My pen is like stretching a lot with this series, honestly. So hopefully this is just him trying to say, and this is why Gregory is a robot.
Not anymore.
Vanny is very clearly real, but she's wearing her mask, thereby making her invisible to the one robot that isn't a part of the wider AI system.
Yes.
That only changes when Freddy is equipped with Roxy's eyes.
Yes.
Roxy's eyes in that game were a part of the AI system.
Okay.
That upgrade suddenly allows Freddy to see things that were formerly invisible to him.
Yes.
He's seeing everything that's a part of the AI network, and that includes Vanny.
Yes.
Hey, I can see you now. I have new eyes.
This one detail is why I feel that ruined Freddy here has to be the same as our best boy from Security Breach. This is a Freddy that has been removed from the system. Welcome.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so he's just not gonna say anything about Gregory Miller. Thank you! Oh my god! MatPat! Oh my god! MatPat! You did it! You actually did it! Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. Sure. Call me. We're getting a million. Oh my god. We're getting a million. That's why we have to be right back. Oh, let's go, MatPat. Oh my god. Anyway. Hello, Emily. Hello.
Hello.
How are you, by the way?
Good. I've come to infiltrate as your favourite second most knowledgeable FNAF person in Buttercorp.
Yes, let's go. Yes. So what do you think of the theory so far?
I actually watched it earlier, I'm pretty sure. I watched it earlier or yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I thought because I actually had a full-blown discussion in, I think it was Burger King, with my friend about fake Freddy and Ruin. We had like a whole extensive discussion, and what I brought up was I think it was Freddy who was talking about the endoskeletons, and he was having like an existential crisis.
Yes.
And Vanessa mentioned his outer shell and how they put it on a new endosskeleton, and he was having an existential crisis about it. I mentioned that. I can't remember it exactly, but I know he did. He was talking about anyway, like, oh yeah, I'm losing my mind. Wait. Oh yeah, oh, put me on a new. You get my point.
Yes,
That's
I do.
what I was talking about. So it could have been like an updated Freddy, because at that point they would have considered our Freddy broken. So the prototype Freddy could have been, well, an actual prototype they were messing around with to make sure he didn't crash on the system again.
Yeah, that's probably it. You know, I didn't. I wonder like how much time has passed before Ruin. Oh, it's probably not much though. If Gregory is still like a kid, but.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but
I mean.
Like, the state of the pizzeria would suggest it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
But Gregory would suggest otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he's not a robot. Like, that's what I'm scared of.
Guarantees that he has to be connected to the Freddy from the original game. Weird Freddy curveballs aside, though, this game makes it abundantly clear that I was right on the money with my last few theories about how AI is now the major focus of the series, and specifically AI programs that have been corrupted by Glitchtrap, Afton's old evil data, hence why everything is wrapped in this purple or pink code. Well, everything except for Roxy. Instead of being made out of purple code like the rest of the animatronics, she instead has sections of her body made up of green code, specifically around her face, her arm, and her foot, making her look a lot like she did at the beginning of Security Breach. It's strange, right? But it actually ties into our previous theories. This neural network controlling the Pizzaplex isn't just influenced by Afton. According to the books, the AI program was originally built to play with Charlie, a girl that wore a green wristband in order for the security puppet to protect her. That's why we see Tiger Rock, the book's manifestation of this same AI, with two colored eyes. It has evil and good data inside of it, and different animatronics are tapped into different amounts of that same code. That's why Roxy is surrounded by green code that makes her look like she was originally supposed to. Green is the color of protection, of safety. Her influence is now putting green markers over the parts of the system that are good. This duality is actually best exemplified by, believe it or not, the daycare attendant, Sun Moon, or Eclipse, as they're known when fused together. Since the beginning of Security Breach, this thing's presence in the game has always felt very random. Like, why is he here? Just to be another scary thing to chase us around? Maybe, but that doesn't tend to be how these games work. And why would they choose such a random design of being both light and darkness, sun and moon? moon? Well, now we know. In one of Ruin's many lore-heavy Easter eggs, if you go up to him with the mask on while there's only one generator left to activate, you'll hear a new line that states,
No! It's not safe yet! Turn on the other generator!
Clearly, Eclipse is conflicted. One half wants to protect you, but it's getting shut away by the darker, more sinister half. He is good and evil combined. He represents both codes competing within the same body. Other animatronics are more of a sliding spectrum. Some are more corrupt than others, but Eclipse represents the balance that naturally exists within this neural network system. Which leads us then to the ending of the game. Whether Gregory is actually the one trying to kill Cassie in the final moments is a theory for another day. Instead,
Okay, like, my theory was, I don't know, the whole ending with Cassie dying. That is, like, the most serious one. Like, I think there is a theory out there where, like, GGY's personality took over Gregory, but, like, I don't know. Cause... But, I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, Gregory destroyed all the other animatronics, but even though Freddy said, but these are my friends, like, I don't know, why would they hurt you or whatever, and he didn't care, but, like, at the same,
I think the Mimic killed Cassie only because there's 2 layers of subtitles. That's not like a playthrough of one person thing. That's in every single person's playthrough. There's overlapping subtitles. He starts talking at the same time as himself. So I'm pretty sure the Mimic just took over the system and killed her, because I don't think Gregory killed her. I think he's the one talking to her mostly at the end. I just think when he goes, like, I'm sorry, but we can't be chased or whatever he said, that's the Mimic.
I did not realize that, like, most of, like, I didn't realize that, like, the text was, like, in every, like, playthrough or whatever. I thought that was, like,
no, it overlaps in every single playthrough.
Huh. That's definitely odd.
I'd rather focus on this, the Mimic Tunnels. At the end of the game, we're chased by an endoskeleton known as the Mimic, a robot that's able to learn from and copy other creatures. But
yes.
Before we get to the elevator, Gregory tells us his friend, presumably Vanessa, has these plans for the underground tunnels.
My friend has access to the building map. Just follow the instructions.
But what are the tunnels? Why are...
I mean, could it also be Freddy if, well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen all... Because you would...
Head has access to building maps.
Well, I don't know, I mean, I feel like a Freddy Head would have, like, schematics of the Pizzaplex since he has to work, per se. You know, like, have to go through different tunnels and such to go to different areas to, you know, entertain children.
Probably, but Vanessa also, like, worked there.
Yeah, true. And plus she was, well, I think it has been confirmed that she is Fanny, the character. So weird.
Oh, she's definitely funny.
Like...
Are they here? Who put them here? These tunnels aren't just random. Someone has been down here before. They've installed lighting and an elevator and everything. We also know it wasn't Gregory and Vanessa because they're on the opposite side of the room that the Mimic was locked in, the Pizzaplex side, complete with the mixes system. We also know that these tunnels weren't just part of the FNAF 6 location because the game makes it a point to show that we're a number of floors far below that building. It tells us that this location has to be older than the FNAF 6 pizzeria. So again, I ask, what are these tunnels for and why are they here? Well, the clues to finding that answer are hidden in the Mimic's room. Normally, you wouldn't be able to see any of this stuff. You break down the wall, you enter a cutscene, and the Mimic starts to chase you. However, at this point, Steel Wool understands that the internet gonna do what the internet gonna do. We're gonna rip into the files, we're gonna free cam our way all across these maps, and we're gonna crank up the brightness hunting for clues.
True!
There is a lot that's hidden just out of sight. Inside the
Don't go in the room. Go in the room. Got it.
And an elephant clown. There also seems like there's supposed to be a third costume, a lion wearing a varsity jacket, but that one I was only able to find in the game files. That said,
he is literally wearing it if you get the, if you get all the cameras. Did he not get all the cameras to, like, find the lion? Because he's literally wearing the lion costume. Unless there's, like, another lion costume somewhere that nobody knows about.
He does mention it. I think he says, like, it looks like a combination of all 3 when he talks about it, which, it's the lion, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
that the mimics were anyway.
In one of the game's secret endings, the Mimic wears a costume that's kind of a mix of all three of these things, so that's the evidence that we need there. And overall, it's a pretty interesting find. We know from the books that the Mimic is a fan of wearing costumes. In the Mimic story, as well as the Pizzaplex epilogues, we know that the Mimic mainly cycles between two costumes, a mushroom and a jester.
And of course there's an ad. Not that.
I didn't even get ads. I got like one.
I don't know. I think I need like an ad blocker or something. If I want to do these sort of kind of reactions. I do not know. But
Connect every student.
jeez. Oh my, oh, there's another ad too. Oh my, why so many ads? Okay. Alright, we're back. Oh god, he's gonna go into Edwin. Oh god, here we go. This is the part I'm also scared
Love
of.
Edwin.
Here we go.
Edwin, our parallel for the game's Henry, was responsible for turning those costumes into animatronics for Fazbear. And that right there, that's an important detail. You see, the books make it clear that those costumes came from a time before Edwin made Chica into the first animatronic. In other words, these off-branded characters like a jester and a mushroom predate practically everything else that we see in the games. They come from a time before the core lineup of characters was officially decided. When Edwin disappears after the death of his son, Fazbear Entertainment goes to his abandoned home and reclaims all of their property. The Mimic, the costumes, everything. Think this is only specific to the books? It's not. I suspect that we've been hearing about these costumes ever since Night 4 of FNAF 3.
Until replacements arrive, you will be expected to wear the temporary costumes provided to you. Keep in mind that they were found on very short notice, so questions about appropriateness/relevance should be deflected.
But that's not all. On your way down to the FNAF 6 location, we find ourselves in a massive cave system full of bioluminescent mushrooms and waterfalls. This immediately felt weird to me. I mean, it is the first time that we've ever been in a place like this. A place that is outside of a building location in this franchise.
Okay, I think I've said this several times, but like this place kind of looks like an area in Skyrim. No, like I've been to caves so many times to like get whatever I need to get, and it's just like reminds me of a cave in Skyrim. Like I feel like I'm gonna find some gold, some monsters to fight or whatever. Like,
so why now? Why this particular setting? Why such a beautiful cave with such specific details? It's odd because we've never seen anything like this in the entire series. Well, almost never. In the second novel, The Twisted One.
Yes!
A friendly reminder, that's the one where the main character gets vored by an animatronic in the end. Good memories had by all. When Charlie awakens from being trapped inside one of the twisted animatronics, she finds herself inside of an old Freddy Fazbear pizzeria. As she explores, she too discovers a cave system with, wait for it, glowing mushrooms and a waterfall.
yes,
The more I looked into it, the more I realized the strong parallels between Ruin and the original novel trilogy. In both cases, we follow a young girl who's looking for a boy the same age as her that goes missing. She finds an old pizzeria buried below a mall, and when she goes down there to where she believes the boy's calling from, it's revealed to be a trap. Am I saying Cassie is Charlie? No, I might one day, but for now I'm still
oh my god.
I do think that there are clear connections between this game and those books that are directly being called to our attention. And what's the primary location for the final book in the series? The location where this story finally comes to its ultimate conclusion? Circus Babies Pizza World. Look again at the costumes that we see in the Mimic's room. An elephant, clown, and a lion. Both animals that are commonly associated with circuses. The grandma bird actually looks a lot like a crow to me with its wide yellow beak and its dark blue coloring, which again reminds me of the Disney film Dumbo, another circus-based film that stars crows and an elephant attraction. The elephant is even wearing a clown outfit, for crying out loud. It is practically screaming at us that these costumes were designed to be mascots for Circus Babies. It's why when they were brought into Fazbear's as backup costumes like Phone Guy said, their relevance was questioned, because Fazbear never had a circus theme or revealed any of these sorts of characters. They were Williams from a long time before. But that's not all. Throughout Ruin, there are secret plush baby rooms where the dolls troll you, and a whole suite of plush baby AR collectibles that specifically call out how weird it is that these things are here. This is Fazbear, not Circus Babies. There's no reason to call out all of these parallels unless it is specifically to call our attention to Circus Baby. These locations are connected somehow. But the final nail in the coffin for me comes thanks to one of the secret endings in the game. After the Mimic chases you in costume, you end up in a locked room where you hit a big ol' red button and a claw-like machine comes down from the ceiling, grabs the Mimic, and defeats it, at least for now. And what's that ending called in the game files? The scooper ending. This thing right here, it is a scoop. And where's the only other place that we've ever seen a scoop used? Circus Babies. The underground bunker that you can only access via an elevator. Oh wait, that describes exactly where we are. Now, remind me again what game is coming out later this year? One that has a trailer starting in the sister location elevator? One where we see a very familiar security panel from Ruin down in the bottom right corner. Help Wanted 2, the second VR game. The Mimic has been around much longer than any of us suspected, and we're gonna find out more about him in the next VR installment coming this winter. This has all sorts of implications. For one, the parallels between the Mimic and Ennard are undeniable. An animatronic that's an amalgamation of a bunch of other animatronics. What makes this one even more interesting is that the books just confirmed all games up through FNAF 6 as being games in universe of the Pizzaplex. So was Ennard just a fictional version of the Mimic the whole time? Again, that's a theory for another day.
Oh my
more
god.
importantly, this actually has some massive timeline implications as well. Part of the reason it always felt tough for me to place Circus Babies into a timeline is because it closes after the death of Elizabeth. That always felt like a good starting point for Afton to then begin seeking eternal life and to put people back together. But what didn't make sense is why Baby would have a claw mechanism in her chest to capture kids. Afton wouldn't need to capture kids until after he had lost his child. But if Circus Babies was actually much earlier in the timeline, like these old costumes seem to suggest, things start to fall into place. Henry was the initial robotics genius. Afton just had the ideas and then gave them to Henry to turn into animatronics, like what we see with Edwin in the Mimic stories. I always brush this little detail off as confusing, but before the release of Sister Location, we got this ending from FNAF World, where Henry sits at a desk talking about the evil that he created before he unalives himself, just like what we see him do in the novel trilogy. At that point, we see a pair of glowing eyes and Baby's voice calls out,
"Everyone, please stay in your seats."
This all implied that Henry was the creator of Baby, not William, despite Afton's name being the one on the copyright. But now I think we have an answer that solves all of this. William went back to collect his costumes after Henry's disappearance, just like what we see happen in the books. When he does this, he also finds the Mimic program, deciding to use its programming and technology for his own creations. The Funtime animatronics, who can do what? They have the ability to mimic voices. We see Baby doing the exact same thing in Sister Location when she mimics the voice of Elizabeth to try and lure Michael to his death. I suspected in my last theory that Baby was still at play here. That's why Tiger Rock's eyes are blue and green, Elizabeth and Charlie. And given everything that we just talked about today, I have no doubt that this is still very much the case.
Okay, I have to also say something here. When he goes to talk about the Funtime animatronics, I remember like one of the blueprints said, I think it was for Laura, but apparently, if I remember, Laura, I think she said she can mimic something in the blueprints, I think. Did she?
She could mimic, like... I know what you mean. Roxy? Rock animatronic. Funtime Foxy could mimic voices.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Laura can mimic something. Wait, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, please do.
I know what you mean. I had like a talk about this before. It was either like mimic parental.
Right.
It's like either mimic parental. Because like it was
something parental, yeah. Has to be. Because like, if we're going into the Funtime animatronics, it's not just Circus Baby. There's like a few other animatronics within the Funtimes mimicking stuff, like Funtime Foxy.
Yeah. Oh, Ballora had an audio activation sensor. It was a sensor that activates audio to lure victims in. Deter and misdirect remote activation has the ability to misdirect anybody in the wrong place to lure the victims in.
That sounds mimicky. That sounds
pretty much he just had audio.
Interesting. Okay.
I remember right, Funtime Foxy could mimic voices. I will double check.
Go ahead.
That's right.
I'll see what's
Play out
left.
though, we'll have to see in FNAF VR 2 later this year. Obviously, there's going to be more to cover here in the coming weeks, specifically about Gregory, Cassie, and Cassie's dad, but more on that one next time, because in the meantime, remember that our brand new line of merch just...
Alright, this is just the end of his theory. Cool. Okay. It's not a bad theory. There's just some stuff that's definitely stretched, but a bit, but like, it's not bad. So I guess the next one would be
parental voice sync and replay, able to mimic the voices of parents and replay particular phrases for misdirection. Variable scent release, capable of releasing scents to lure victims in. Remote floor anchor, that's not... Doesn't say what remote floor anchor is, but it has something to do with walking.
Okay, so yeah, so it is Full-Time Foxy who, like, does a lot of mimicky stuff, too. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I see you, Matt Pat. Usually your theories are out there here and there, but you know what? Okay, I'll give you that one. But right, so I think this will be our last theory video, just so we're running a little bit around time, but we can watch the last theory video in the next live stream or something where I play Ruin, because I am planning to try to get the secret room or whatever that people have been like talking about non-stop. With the what for?
Which secret room? Bonnie's?
Yes, that one, yeah.
Oh. Do you not do the thing?
I haven't done it. I was just playing through, and then everyone keeps talking about the secret room. I'm like, where is the secret room? What?
Lol, imagine not doing the thing to unlock the secret room.
Like, I don't know, man. But anyway, so this is Toast, everyone, and he has a theory about the engines changing everything. So here we go.
Breach Ruin is out, and I've played it more than the actual base game, I'm pretty sure at this point. Mainly because it's really good and you should play it. But also I've been trying my hardest to understand it. There are a lot of new threads to follow up on. Questions like, who is Cassie and her father? Which you can see right here. Was Gregory ever even at the Pizzaplex? But one of the questions that's been bothering a lot of us, what do the endings mean? Do they tell us anything we don't know about Ruin or possibly Security Breach itself? Or maybe, do they tell us about the next game Steelwolf's going to make?
Ooh.
That's what we're here to answer today. So slices, put on your aprons, and let's bake ourselves a theory.
Yes!
For anyone not in the know, there are 3 possible endings for Security Breach Ruin. There's a 4th one in the files that was coded, but there's no information, so it was most likely scrapped.
Yeah.
The 3 endings we do have stem off of the same final chase sequence. So, what is that sequence? Well, Cassie gets down to the old elevator under Roxy Raceway and makes it down to the FNAF 6 location, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. But the usual tunnel was caved in, revealing instead the giant statue down there has been disturbed by something tunneling out. Going through that tunnel, we approach the FNAF 6 pizzeria instead from the back, passing through this giant cave, some storerooms, Candy Cadet, even the rooms that Burntrap was in during the Security Breach boss fight. Deeper still, and we reach a room much lower than the rest of the pizza place, but still seemingly visually a part of it. In here, we find a forklift, the machine controlling Mexus, and the console used to control the machine. We shut off the Mexus console, trapping the rabbit that was chasing us inside of it, and opening the door forward.
Bye-bye, bunny!
To reveal that it's been poured over by concrete. We use the forklift to bust through, and we reveal it. The endoskeleton that tricked us down here in the first place.
The mimic.
It's been copying Gregory's voice through a walkie-talkie to lure us into freeing it. Once we do, it tries to kill us. Talk about ungrateful. But for some unexplained reason, a very strange and unexplained reason, Roxy is apparently okay and comes in to save the day, buying us some time. Once we get away a little bit, the real Gregory, or so he says, comes over on the walkie-talkie to tell us that we were never supposed to be down here in the first place. He then says his friend has the building maps and can lead us out of here, we just have to listen to their instructions. This is where the deviations for the different endings begin to occur. So let's start off by explaining the one the files label as the neutral ending. If you run away from the Mimic, follow Gregory's instructions to a T, you eventually end up using your Faz Wrench to open this elevator door. The Mimic gets caught in the door, losing its arm, but ultimately we get away. In the elevator ride, Gregory attempts to give us some more answers. Not only were we not supposed to go to the Pizzaplex, but he's not even at the Pizzaplex himself. He doesn't know what the Mimic is.
Yeah, that's one of the strange things. Like one of the lines where he says you were never supposed to go to the Pizzaplex. What does he mean you were never supposed to? Does that mean you were supposed to meet up somewhere? That line confuses me a lot. I don't know. It just seems fishy when he goes, "You were never supposed to be here." I mean, any thoughts about that?
I mean, it's possible that he asked her to meet up. Why he didn't specify where?
That's
The mimic wouldn't have access to her when presumably they asked to meet up, so it couldn't have been the mimic. Why he didn't specify where and why because of that she went to the Pizzaplex is beyond me.
Exactly, I'm like, Gregory, if you want to meet up your friends, make sure you give them a specific location. Not, I mean, come on, or at least meet face to face, so this wouldn't happen.
Maybe he should read the books. But he does know that it's been trapped here for a really long time. The Mexis machine we just shut off was a device built to conceal...
Yeah, look, like, you see, like, I know you did it for me, like, what the heck? That's so weird.
The mimic. Then a bit of feedback goes
Yeah,
through.
the two
He then
subtitles.
explains that
The
this
bottom
isn't our
one,
fault,
I'm
and
pretty
he
sure,
knows
is the
that we did it
mimic,
for him.
which is
But
when
he can't
the
really
elevator
let go
Yeah.
being followed. And our elevator drops, somehow not killing Cassie, as Roxy calls out our name confused after the credits. This ending seems
Wait,
straightforward
what?
on the surface, but there's actually a bit of a debate.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, I know that Roxy says Cassie, but I thought she meant it sounded sad, not confused, unless I missed something there.
She could just be saying Cassie because Cassie isn't responding to her. That doesn't mean she's alive.
Like, Cassie, wake up! Come on, you must have a birthday at the Pizza Flex!
Cassie, it's your birthday. Cassie? Oh, crap, Cassie!
Cassie!
Going on, one that I'm here to settle. Some people think that this is
I got
exactly as
carrot
it
cake,
seems.
wake up.
Gregory, although he doesn't want to, ultimately stops the elevator to make sure the mimic doesn't get out, killing Cassie in the process. The other camp think that at some point the mimic retakes over communication.
Yeah, I
and Gregory
mean...
never actually is the one that cuts the elevator. And I'm here with evidence to show which side is right. Straight away, at some point I do think Gregory is talking to us in this ending. Notably, for most of this sequence, I agree with the files. In the game, anytime the mimic is talking to us pretending to be Gregory, the file name reads Grimmick. Yes, the Grimmick Shake is canon in FNAF, but there are other lines.
The Grimmick Shake! Oh god, I never even have the Grimmick Shake. I don't know if it actually tastes good or not.
I think it just berries, but I would feel wrong if I didn't join in on the trend and then spontaneously combust when I drank it.
Right? God. Oh god.
Lines labeled in the game as Gregory. Notably, every line...
Oh my god, I ChickfilA ad. Oh
no! Biscuit. I was about to say I've never got a ChickfilA ad. I wonder why I've never got a ChickfilA ad. I really wonder. It's almost like that we don't have them in Britain.
Really?
I've never had a ChickfilA. We don't. Well, there's a Taco Bell relatively near me. It's just the only one within 3 hours of me.
Huh.
We don't have Jack in the Box. We don't have Wendy's. I'm pretty sure. I can't speak for the half of England, but down where I am, we do not have the majority of your fast food places.
That's... I don't know if I should be sad or happy about that.
I don't know.
Because, you know, there are some fast food places where I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want that. And there are places where I'm like, yes, it's good, let's go. Oh, wait.
After encountering the mimic. Now, I know this might seem like case closed for the Gregory is guilty side of the argument. Reminder that they learned this firsthand in the very previous game, Security Breach, where we found out the sprite in Princess Quest was named Cassidy. They immediately changed it in the next update, but not only did they then learn that file names can spoil things for the future because of the fanbase file scraping, but they knew to change it so that we wouldn't spoil things for ourselves in the future. Which means some or all of the lines labeled Gregory could still be the mimic, they just don't want to give it away yet. So if that's the case, is it all the mimic, or do we go back at some point?
I mean, I've seen many theories about why Cassidy isn't the princess in Princess Quest. And I'm like, okay, that's good evidence, but like, at the same time, like, I don't know. It's just...
I think he is, only because, like, I don't think. Well, I don't think custom night is essentially real.
Mm.
Like it's probably kind of real, but I don't think it's essentially, you know.
Yeah, that. I don't know. I think honestly, Princess Quest is definitely confusing because it's like, is it Cassidy because the princess name is Cassidy, or like, I don't know. It's just weird and everything. I mean, I know there's also like debates about Cassidy's like gender, whether she's actually male or female. It's just like, can we just we all agree that it's? I just don't know. I don't know, man.
Well, I'm not even close to the first person to point this out, but I think the feedback on the elevator is no accident. Right as that feedback goes through, the tone in Gregory's voice and dialogue shifts. He goes from giving us answers to apologizing and then sending us down. I and many others think that that feedback is when the mimic regains control of communication. The text box even resets at that moment. But if you're not convinced by just the dialogue, this might do it. Method. How could Gregory, someone who said he's not even at the Pizzaplex, drop the elevator on us? An old elevator that doesn't look like it's even connected to anything else. He would need to have some sort of ultra system controlling every single aspect of the Pizzaplex at like his bedroom or something. It's possible, but it's unlikely. But you know what is a very likely method? This elevator is powered by a battery pack right underneath the conduit that we charged.
Oh, I did not know that. I keep seeing people talking about the car battery, but... Huh. Interesting.
And you know who just got foiled and let Cassie get away and is sitting right next to that battery pack? The Mimic. All it would have to do is just unclip one of the two clips and the elevator would come crashing back down. So not only is it far more likely character-wise for the Mimic to trick and try to kill Cassie again, but it's easier for the Mimic to do it than it would be for Gregory to do it.
Yes, but also, like, what about the schematics? Because he has the schematics of the Pizzaplex. How do you explain that?
Might be connected to the system.
Maybe, I guess so. I don't know.
I think it's solidly in the camp that the Mimic is the one that drops the elevator. The final bit about this ending that I do want to mention is Roxy's little bonus dialogue at the end of the credits, when she says, Cassie? This implies that Cassie's alive. And
how?
If she survived that massive elevator fall, I don't want to say it, but we should consider the possibility that Cassie isn't human. I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
Fall. If she survived that, she is
no.
sturdy. But that in total, according to the files, is the neutral ending of Security Breach Ruin. Now on to, honestly, what might be the most confusing out of the three, the Scooper ending. This is by far the hardest ending to get, as it's the only one that requires any prerequisites, not to mention that the prerequisites are hard to find. Throughout the game you have these camera stations, but 4 specific camera stations, one being the very first one you encounter, one in the Monty Catwalks, one in the Roxy Salon, and one in Bonnie Bowling, you can zoom out further than you normally can, and on the very edge of the map is a secret camera. On each of these, when you open a secret camera, it shows a doorway and a door opening in that doorway. Oh, bye-bye. If you've done all this correctly and get back to the ending, you'll find that things are slightly different now. The Mimic has changed. It's put on this amalgamation costume made out of a lion, an elephant, and a bird. The next scene plays out as normal, but at the end of the chase sequence, the elevator access is blocked off, and instead you go down the 4 doors that you opened. Suddenly, you're in a bit of a higher tech room. You go behind a door that closes and locks, and then you're just looking through glass with a button on a podium. You press the button, the room fills up with some kind of fog, the Mimic shows up, and then the Scooper kills it, apparently. Some kind of fight happens in the fog, you can't even see it, trust me, I've gone out of bounds, but at the end of it, the Mimic is on the ground and the Scooper hides away. Now it is worth noting that this is just the Mimic's costume. In the model that chases you, you can see bits of the Mimic sticking out through the mouth, the stomach, and things like that. But I went out of bounds and I looked at this model. That endoskeleton is gone, which does track with what the Scooper is intended to do. But in this ending, the Mimic escapes.
Okay, why do I actually believe that? I don't know. I feel like maybe the Scooper. I want to say maybe the neutral ending could be the true ending, but it's called neutral ending for a reason. So like, could it be that the neutral ending isn't the true ending? Like, I don't know. Cause like, I don't know. Obviously, I don't really think the Brazil ending is the true ending. Unless...
Oh no, the Brazil ending is just bloody Helpy trying to cheer Cassidy up while she... Cassidy? Wrong person. Cassidy up while she dies.
Yeah,
I know you're dying, here's a scene to cheer you up.
While you die, yeah.
Look at your friends living their life, something you won't have in 2 minutes.
I do have a pretty solid idea, and it's all based on location. I've stated before in several different theories where I think the locations of several important places in the franchise are. Namely, I think the sister location Bunker and Fredbear's Family Diner are fairly close together, mainly because of the Funtime Freddy Fuse map. This one sister location minigame has so much lore potential throughout the entire franchise. One of the most important things to note about it is the connections the map makes. Based off of the layouts of these two...
Welcome back, Josh. And I'm gonna say, the question is, how close are they, though? Like, that's my question. Like, if they're fairly close, and then, like, how close do you want it to be? Because, obviously, I don't know. I feel like the sister location is, like, definitely a few miles away or something, away from the diner, but, like, but if it's a bunker, like, that's the question.
Canonically, if we're going into book territory, they're in the same town. They're in Hurricane.
Right.
If Fredbear's was in the woods. Fredbear's was in the middle of, kind of in the middle of the woods. There was like a pathway to get to it.
Right.
Sister location was canonically under Henry's house. Yeah. So that's the thing, but they would have been fairly close.
I think, yeah, fairly close.
Well, they wouldn't have been right next to each other, but they would have been in the same town.
They have to be, like, at least in the same town. It wouldn't make sense if, like, these locations are in different towns. I mean, of course, we don't know, like, how many, like, you know, restaurants they open up, too, though. But, I mean, like, if they're talking about, like, just the one main family diner and the one main sister's location, Bunker, then, like, they have to be relatively close and have to be in the same town.
Two buildings, we can assume that this is the FNAF 4 house and that this is Fredbear's Family Diner. So if there's connected power between the sister location Bunker, the FNAF 4 house, and Fredbear's Family Diner, we can assume they're all relatively nearby one another. Now, most people do believe the sister location Bunker is directly, if not very close to underneath the FNAF 4 house. That makes a lot of sense. But Fredbear's Family Diner being nearby is very important. Why? Well, it's widely believed, and I believe it too, that the FNAF 6 fake pizzeria was built on top of or within Fredbear's Family Diner. It would explain the remote location, how Henry had access to it, and the rather bare bones internal layout. Do you see where I'm headed with this?
What?
So now we have Circus Baby is under it, or Fredbear's is under it. Or both.
That's...
Do you know what? Why invest in new land when we can just build on top of things?
No wonder they get so many sequels at this point.
I think that this
Don't mind the collection hazard, just build on top of it.
Then was converted to the fake pizzeria for FNAF 6, and then was later bulldozed over and turned into the Mega Pizzaplex. So, what does all this have to do with the ending? Well, I don't think the allusion to sister location in this ending is an accident. I mean, the game's ending sequence is literally listening to somebody give you instructions on whether to go left or right. You can either listen to those instructions and get to an ending that either involves a scooper or an elevator, or you can disobey those instructions and get a questionably canon secret ending. Oh, wait, sorry. I just described word for word the ending to sister location. We were talking about Ruin. Wait a minute, it's the same description. So if this is so connected already, and the sister location Bunker and Fredbear's Family Diner were connected by power, who's to say that this room isn't the actual original scooping room? Alright, I hear you. The design of the scooper is completely different, and the room has been changed too. But I do have two explanations for that. first, if this tunnel had been known to Vanny or Glitchtrap, they could have been working on the scooper and making their own modifications to it, as this does look a lot more effective than the original model. But it could be as simple as the second option. Steelwool has already shown that they're willing to do character redesigns if it's cool or fits the narrative. Case in point, Roxy. Her design is completely different from when we see her, and it's not a matter of being more damaged. That is a different endoskeleton, but it's fine because it serves a purpose in this game. The scooper could be the same way, where they've redesigned the scooper,
really
but
said
it's
who
still
needs
meant
hair.
to be the same one. That could be this. Regardless, the button shape and layout, the scooping room layout, the window layout, and the proximity of these buildings really has me believing that this room is the original sister location scooping room. And if so, what does that tell us?
I mean, here's the thing, like, when I was looking back through Security Breach, the game itself, there is definitely a lot of connections with at least Five Nights at Freddy's 4, some sister location stuff, and everything like that. There's no doubt about that. But, like, I don't know. That is definitely, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, ignoring the structural integrity of the Pizzaplex and every other FNAF location, in regards to the layout, it is. Then why are you messaging me? I'm just not gonna answer that. So, like, ignoring the fact that one wrong move on the building department's part could collapse the entire Pizzaplex with that layout, as well as probably also the FNAF pizzeria if more things are under it. That would mean with this, it would mean there's about, what, Pizzaplex layer, an F6, Fredbear's, sister location, so that's like 4 layers of...
Like, different places, yeah. It's just...
different buildings?
Like, pizzerias? I mean, like...
Not to mention the Pizzaplex itself is already like 2-3 stories. Technically need more.
I mean, yeah, so it's just like, plus we have, like, the Foxy log ride and everything, it's just like, what on earth is happening?
No, really, what does that tell us? That wasn't rhetorical. I have no idea what's going on here. Like, I have all this context, and I think I know the meaning behind it, but as far as what it's trying to say for the story, I have no clue. Maybe I'll find out one day. Go watch some Let's Plays or something in the meantime. Like the highly edited content over on the Rytoost YouTube channel. Thank you again so much for the amazing support on the channel so far, and I can't
Oh
wait
my
to
god,
do
self-promotion,
more content, highly edited,
what?
King Coda. It's gonna be great. Finally,
Ew.
that middle ending. The secret ending that's easy to get. What the files label as the Brazil ending.
The Brazil ending, and then there's this camp, whatever. I do not know. What?
Coordinate. Oh my god!
What is happening here? I'm past. Thank you very much. I'm not a camper myself. But anyway. Oh my god.
Brazil?
All you have to do to get this ending is disobey Gregory in a specific moment. The third time he says go right, instead you go left, and you find a Fredbear cutout holding 2 ice cream cones. If you put your mask on in this moment, you're transported to a recreation of the Good Vanny ending, the Princess Quest ending, with Gregory saying that he found a place to hide, Cassie breathing panickedly, and the game fades to black. This is admittedly very confusing, but I think we know what this means. And it even tells us a bit about the next game after Help Wanted 2.
Wait, what?
Bake with me for a moment. I think that this ending is fake. Okay, so like it actually happens in the game, but within the game's continuity, it's fake.
Yeah!
Okay, let me put it this way. What Cassie is seeing here isn't real in any way. This is her losing to the Vanny mask, and to the Mimic by extension. Our protagonist is no longer Cassie. This is Cassidy, a newer, more sinister
Cassidy!
Note, I'm not saying she literally turns into Cassidy here. I'm just saying she She changes her name like Vanny to Vanessa, Cassie to Cassie. Okay, just bear with me. Bear with me. There's a bear with me. Our first hint of the fakeness is the dialogue that we hear. This Gregory voice line is the exact same one we hear the mimic use in the Roxy Salon.
Yes.
I remember in the trailer.
Yes.
So we know that isn't Gregory. Our second hint is that this isn't the good Vanny ending. Like, we have a Freddy character, a Gregory, and a Vanessa on a hill eating ice cream, sure, but it's not the same. In the original, they're all sitting side by side. Gregory is eating a popsicle, there's a Freddy head, and Vanessa's eating an ice cream cone. And Gregory and Helpy, not Freddy's head, are facing us holding ice cream cones. Gregory and Helpy, the exact same two fake people who led us down here in the first place. Once again, they're leading us astray. But for what? Why is this happening? The game tells us that too, but first, a little context. For those who haven't read the books, in Tales number 5, the story GGY tells us a lot about our boy Gregory.
Yes.
This book, or the majority of it, is to be in the game's timeline, which I do. Before the events of Security Breach, Gregory was a mind-controlled slave to the Mimic, just like Vanessa was.
Yes.
His name, GGY.
Yes.
And Vanessa's was Vanny. If we take that idea from the books and pair it with the fact that in the games, we don't see Gregory return to a home after Security Breach, and we know there is a child-sized hidden alcove in the daycare, just like Vanny's hidden alcove in the Phaser Blast, I think it's safe to assume that this secret hideout is where GGY was living. Finally, and I'm not the only person to make these connections, FNAF has a whole video on Gregory and how he's been trapped, I think it's incredibly likely that the Balloon World machine is what trapped Gregory's mind within GGY. Just like the Princess Quest machine trapped Vanessa within Vanny. Or rather, those machines were the key to freeing them. Okay, so why does that matter? Well, look at the two other things that were added to this ending. Balloons and the daycare theme. Cassie, just like Gregory, has been taken by the Mimic. Cassie might very well be our next antagonist, if this ending is the canon one. Still don't believe me? Then take it from Steel Wool themselves. The ending is labeled in the files as the Brazil ending. At first this seems quite random, but a bunch of folks on Twitter found a movie from 1985 titled Brazil. Let me
Yes, I remember people talking about this.
Sam is restrained in a chair in a large empty cylindrical room to be tortured by his old friend Jack Lint. As Jack is about to stop the torture, Tuttle and other members of the Resistance break into the Ministry, shooting Jack, rescuing Sam, and blowing up the Ministry building. Sam and Tuttle flee together. A whole escape sequence plays. At the end, Jack is surprised to find himself in a truck driven by Jill. The two leave the city together. However, this happy ending is a delusion. It is revealed that Sam is still strapped to the torture chair. Does it all click now? This ending is the mental prison that Cassie gets put in to turn into the next Vanny. And I think it tells us the next game Steel Wool is going to make after Help Wanted 2. For those who don't know, there are a lot of prototype maps that were left in the files for Ruin. Things that never made the cut. One of them is mostly nonsense, except for the fact that there's a big sign on it that says, quote, something cool that maybe foreshadows Carnival. Carnival? To me, Carnival sounds like a project name for an upcoming game that they have not yet publicly announced. But that word Carnival, doesn't it invoke Balloon World? Or even the Balloon Circus animatronics that keep popping up again and again in merchandise? Not only that, but look at two of the costumes the Mimic uses in this basement.
It's bloody creepy.
Really?
Yeah, I got it as a birthday gift, and I was like, insert friend's name, I love you, but what the hell is that? It's terrifying. So it's sat on my shelf covered up by Funtime Freddy, Ballora, and Circus Baby figurines.
Yeah, so they're basically now saying that, the next FNAF game after Help Wanted 2 is a carnival theme? Funny Nights at Freddy's game. Is that what he's... I mean, here's the thing. Since their location was a circusy and carnival theme, but you don't really get that carnival theme. You just know they're called the Funtime animatronics, and Circus Baby was named, Circus Baby. Like... So, I wouldn't be opposed to a carnival theme Five Nights at Freddy's game, but like, at the same time, how do we know for sure that could be it?
Lion and an elephant, two of the most prolific circus animals. I believe in the works at Steelwool right now is a game where we play as Cassie trapped in this cage and try to break out. We see this hill shot with balloons and music in the background, and we pan down to see Fredbear's Singin' Show, the very carnival that Security Breach introduced into the canon, and that is why a Fredbear cutout gets us this ending. So does that mean the Brazil ending is canon? Dude, I don't know. But if you want to know more about Ruin and the other lore the game presents, you can go ahead and watch that video there. For now, a huge shout out to the best channel members that don't—
Alright, there we go. That's the end of that theory. So what are your thoughts?
I'm scared.
You're scared.
I want to go home. I want to go back to when the law was kids die by Purple Man. The end.
Yes. So, anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoy our reactions to these FNAF theories. Thank you, Emily, for joining the live stream. I hope you enjoyed the craziness. And you're
going back to Jacob.
Yes, passion bring back Jacob. We need Jacob back before FNAF takes our sanity. But anyway, guys, we'll see you guys next time. KW, bye bye.